Dillon Gabriel might be the name on the depth chart, but Shedeur Sanders is the name on everyone's mind, and Tommy Rees accidentally told us why. Rees's comment that Sanders was already pushing the envelope confirmed what the Browns refused to show. Sanders is ahead of schedule, and the team knows it. Instead of embracing that momentum, the Browns chose secrecy, blocking footage, dodging questions, and pretending the quarterback race was on even footing. But that silence didn't protect them, it backfired. The more they tried to obscure Sanders' rise, the more obvious it became who really owned the spotlight. The video frames this as a case of self-sabotage through overmanagement. Rather than celebrate a young quarterback's potential, the Browns feared what it meant for their own narrative. That fear created the perfect storm: a fan base hungry for hope, a player built for headlines, and a team unwilling to speak plainly. Now, every play Gabriel makes is measured against a myth the Browns accidentally created, and every day Sanders sits fuels a storyline they no longer control. The Cleveland Browns are drowning in their own drama, and the quarterback situation is now front and center of what can only be described as a franchise-fueled PR fire. This isn't just about who's starting on Sunday. It's about a pattern of dysfunction, secrecy, and control that has exploded into a spectacle they can no longer manage. At the center of the chaos? Shedeur Sanders. A rookie with sky-high potential, undeniable charisma, and now, thanks to the Browns' own mishandling, a media narrative that's spiraling out of their control. They wanted to manage expectations. What they did instead was create a legend, one they're not equipped to contain. The moment Browns offensive coordinator Tommy Rees accidentally confirmed that Shedeur was progressing faster than expected, the floodgates opened. It wasn't just a slip-up. It was a confirmation of everything fans and analysts had already suspected, that Sanders isn't just developing, he's ready, or close enough to make the current silence feel suspicious. That one moment shattered the wall the Browns had tried so desperately to build. A wall constructed from vague updates, scrubbed practice footage, and boilerplate coach speak.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
And now, that wall is rubble. What's left is the question everyone is asking. Why are they hiding him? Because they are hiding him. That's not speculation, it's fact. Practice footage has been restricted. On-field clips are carefully curated. And every press conference involving quarterback talk has been sterilized to the point of parody. This isn't normal rookie development. This is calculated narrative control. And it's backfiring. This strategy, meant to protect Shedeur and manage fan expectations, has only amplified every rumor, every theory, every ounce of speculation. It's made Sanders more of a mystery, and in turn, more of a media sensation. Fans aren't just waiting for him to play, they're now treating him like a hidden weapon. And that's entirely the team's doing. Meanwhile, the pressure is mounting on Dillon Gabriel. He's in the impossible position of being the guy the team is publicly backing, but privately overshadowed. And again, this isn't his fault. He didn't create the media blackout. He's just operating within the fog the organization created. But when the public is given a choice between a visible starter and a hidden star, the mystery always wins. And the mystery is growing by the day. Every moment Shedeur stays off the field, every interview that downplays his progress, adds fuel to the hype machine. This isn't just a football story anymore. It's a full-blown culture war within the franchise. Transparency versus secrecy. Development versus control. Reality versus narrative. Let's not forget, this is Cleveland, a city with one of the most emotionally invested fan bases in the league. These fans have been through years of quarterback musical chairs. They've seen mismanagement. They've seen hype fizzle out. And now that they finally have a prospect who could be the answer, the franchise is asking them to trust a plan that doesn't even make sense on paper. Because what is the plan really? If Shedeur is as raw as they claim, why the silence? If he's not ready, why not show his progress? If he's improving rapidly, as Rees himself said, why not give the public a taste of that potential? The Browns have backed themselves into a corner where every answer sounds like spin, and every non-answer sounds like panic. It's created a situation where the quarterback battle isn't being judged on play, it's being judged on politics. And that's a dangerous place for any team to be. When your PR decisions start dictating your football ones, you've already lost control. And it's becoming increasingly clear that the Browns don't know how to get it back. There's also the issue of internal credibility. If the locker room sees Shedeur outperforming expectations, if his reps are being limited despite clearly outshining the competition, then the trust starts to erode. Players know when someone's being held back. And when that person becomes the rallying point for fan enthusiasm and media obsession, it becomes a distraction that no amount of press briefings can fix. The Browns thought they could slow play this. They thought they could manage the timing, control the narrative, delay the conversation until they were ready. But the NFL doesn't work like that anymore. In the age of 24/7 access, silence isn't strategic, it's suspicious. And now, the Browns are dealing with a backlash they created. Not from poor performance, but from refusing to show the progress they themselves admitted is happening. They wanted to avoid a quarterback controversy. They manufactured the biggest one in the league. Let's call this what it is, a self-inflicted circus. They didn't need to hold Shedeur back this hard. They didn't need to erase his presence from the team's public face. They didn't need to pretend he's just another developmental piece. Because no one's buying it. Not anymore. Every team wants to protect its young stars. But when that protection turns into suppression, people start to ask why. And the Browns? They don't have a good answer. Or at least, not one they're willing to say out loud. Which brings us to the inevitable conclusion. This strategy is doomed. Sooner or later, Shedeur will play. Whether it's because Gabriel falters, or because the fan base flat out demands it, or simply because the pressure becomes too much to ignore, his time will come. And when it does, the stakes will be unreal. Because now, thanks to months of mystery and misdirection, Shedeur's debut won't just be a game, it'll be an event. The bar will be sky-high. The spotlight will be blinding. And every snap he takes will be measured against a narrative the Browns wrote through their own silence. That's not fair to Shedeur. That's not fair to the locker room. And it's definitely not fair to the fans. This entire quarterback saga has become a textbook case of how not to handle internal development. Secrecy might buy time, but it also builds pressure. Pressure that now has no safe outlet. No clear plan. No honest dialogue. And unless the Browns shift course, and fast, this isn't just going to be a PR headache. It's going to be a legacy issue. The kind of thing that sticks to a front office, to a coaching staff, to a franchise's reputation. Years from now, people won't just talk about how Shedeur Sanders emerged. They'll talk about how the Browns tried to stop it and couldn't. So here we are. The Browns can keep pushing vague talking points. They can keep limiting footage. They can keep pretending that fans and media will stop asking questions. Or they can face the truth. Shedeur Sanders is the future, whether they like it or not. What happens next is up to them. But time is running out. Let us know what you think. Has the Browns' strategy gone too far? Should Shedeur be starting? Or is the team just buying time the only way they know how? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns of the sports drama you won't hear from the league-approved playbook. Because in Cleveland, the quarterback saga isn't about competition anymore. It's about control. And that control is slipping fast. The Browns can't put this back in the box. It's too late. They tried to slow play Shedeur Sanders' rise with secrecy, but all they've done is fast-track the hype. Every day he stays sidelined, every press conference dodges his name, every clip that never surfaces, these are the things creating a myth. And myths grow louder in silence. At this point, Shedeur doesn't even need to speak. The fans are doing it for him. The analysts are dissecting every whisper. The headlines are writing themselves. He's not just a rookie quarterback anymore. He's a storyline. He's a symbol of what could be, and what the Browns won't admit is already happening behind closed doors. And it all traces back to the Browns' decision to control, to curate, to obscure. Let's be real. If Shedeur had come in and struggled, we'd have seen it. They wouldn't be hiding that. They'd be showing it off, talking about how he's learning, how he's taking reps, how there's still a lot of work to do. The classic rookie development script. But they didn't do that. Instead, they sealed off access. They protected him not from the pressure, but from the spotlight. Not because he couldn't handle it, but because they couldn't. Because once fans saw how much progress he was making, once the public knew he was outperforming expectations, it was going to change the entire quarterback room dynamic. And that's exactly what happened the moment Tommy Rees let the truth slip. That comment didn't just crack the door open, it blew it off the hinges. It confirmed that Shedeur wasn't some long-term project. He wasn't months away. He was close. He is close. And the Browns, by trying to keep that hidden, made it 10 times more compelling. Now, it's not just about performance. It's about principle. It's about transparency. It's about trust. Because when your offensive coordinator lets it slip that a player is lighting up practice, but your organization continues to pretend like he's not a factor, you're not just lying by omission. You're telling the fans their eyes don't matter. Their questions aren't worth answering. Their instincts are wrong. And fans don't forget that. They remember when they were told to be patient. They remember the PR phrases, the generic updates, the forced smiles. And they'll definitely remember when Shedeur finally hits the field, because by then he won't just be playing football. He'll be carrying the weight of an entire narrative the team was too afraid to own. That's the risk the Browns took. And it's already backfiring. They tried to manufacture a rollout. Something clean. Something controllable. But you can't schedule buzz. You can't time when the fans fall in love with a player. You can't delay hype without creating suspicion. Especially not in this era, where fans are watching the team's every move with the attention of private investigators. And now, the Browns are dealing with the very thing they feared most, a team narrative spiraling out of their hands. It's not just local talk radio or Reddit threads anymore. National media has picked it up. NFL insiders are watching. Sports shows are debating it. The Shedeur conversation has left the Browns' control, and they don't have a game plan to get it back. And while they're fumbling their messaging, Shedeur's star keeps rising. Without even being on the field. That's the irony. By trying to suppress him, they've elevated him. You think the locker room isn't watching this unfold? Players know what's going on. They see the reps. They hear the coaches. They know who's balling in practice and who's not. And when a guy's clearly standing out but getting benched in favor of media silence and PR caution, the trust starts to break. Guys start asking questions. Why isn't he getting a chance? What's the holdup? Are we playing the best guy, or the guy who fits the narrative? That kind of doubt spreads fast. And once it hits the locker room, it doesn't go away quietly. This is the Browns' dilemma. Keep Shedeur on the bench, and you keep feeding the myth. You keep fans restless. You keep your own locker room questioning. But put him in too late, and the pressure could crush him. Because thanks to months of mystery and build-up, Shedeur's first snap will carry the weight of every headline, every rumor, every hidden clip, every vague update. The Browns built this pressure. And now they'll have to live in it. And we haven't even touched on the Dillon Gabriel side of things. He's not just competing with Shedeur, he's competing with the idea of Shedeur. And that's almost impossible. Even if Gabriel performs decently, every incomplete pass, every stalled drive, every interception will lead to one question. Why isn't Shedeur out there? That's not a fair question. But it's the one the Browns invited. By treating Shedeur like a secret weapon, they made him more than just a player. They made him an expectation. And now, that expectation is looming over every snap Gabriel takes. This isn't just a quarterback controversy. It's a franchise identity crisis. A team stuck between fear and faith. Between strategy and reality. Between holding back and breaking through. And the clock is ticking. The Browns can't ride this out much longer. They can't keep doing this media shuffle, dodging questions, offering sound bites with no substance, acting like the public isn't paying attention. They are paying attention. And every day Shedeur stays hidden, the pressure grows. The spotlight burns hotter. The questions get sharper. Because fans can live with losing. They've done that before. What they can't live with is feeling like they're being played. So what's next? Do the Browns let the pressure build until it breaks them? Or do they rip off the bandage and let Shedeur take the field for better or worse? That moment's coming. Whether it's after a loss or a slow start or just overwhelming public demand, he's going to play. And when he does, there will be no turning back. No more control. No more mystery. No more narrative games. Just truth. And that truth, good or bad, is what the fans have been asking for this entire time. The Browns didn't just miscalculate the situation with Shedeur Sanders. They fundamentally misunderstood how modern football culture works. This isn't the early 2000s, where you could quietly develop a rookie quarterback in the shadows and hope fans just trust the process. In 2025, every fan is a beat reporter, every practice clip is a breaking news event, and every silence is treated like a cover-up. And yet, that's exactly the route Cleveland went. Instead of embracing the excitement, instead of leaning into the possibility that maybe, just maybe, they struck gold with Shedeur, the Browns slammed the brakes. They pulled footage, dodged questions, and hoped they could control a wildfire with a garden hose. Spoiler, it didn't work. Now they're trapped in the middle of a storm they created. The pressure's not just external, it's everywhere. Inside the building, on the practice field, in the locker room. The kind of pressure that eats at a franchise's identity from the inside out. And what's wild is that none of this had to happen. All they had to do was be honest. Honest about Shedeur's development. Honest about the quarterback competition. Honest about what fans were already seeing with their own eyes. That the kid is special. Instead, they went the route of calculated ambiguity. We like what we're seeing. He's progressing on schedule. We're evaluating everything. What does any of that even mean? Fans aren't stupid. And the Browns should have known that. You don't drop a name like Shedeur Sanders into your building, son of Deion, social media megastar, proven leader at Colorado, and expect people to ignore him. You don't keep his practice reps behind closed doors and think no one's going to ask why. And you definitely don't let your offensive coordinator slip up in a presser and then act like nothing happened. Because Tommy Rees's words didn't just start a conversation. They exposed the whole operation. Reese didn't sound like a coach buying time. He sounded like someone excited, someone watching a quarterback develop faster than expected. But that excitement didn't match the team's messaging. And the second that disconnect became public, it all unraveled. Fans started digging. Media started speculating. And suddenly, a player the team tried to keep hidden became the face of a fan-led investigation. And let's be honest, this has now become so much bigger than just who takes the next snap under center. This is about trust. Trust between the front office and its fans. Between coaches and players. Between what's said and what's actually happening. The Browns haven't just created a controversy, they've created doubt. And in this league, that doubt spreads like wildfire. When fans don't trust what they're being told, everything becomes a conspiracy. Every roster move is questioned. Every press conference is dissected. Every injury report feels suspicious. That's where Cleveland is right now. And they walk themselves straight into it. All while Shedeur continues to sit, visibly healthy, clearly talented, but somehow not ready. Ready for what exactly? He's got the arm. He's got the presence. He's got the command. And more importantly, he has the momentum. The kind of groundswell you can't manufacture. The kind that turns rookies into stars before they ever start a game. And yet, the Browns are letting it rot on the bench. It's like they're more afraid of being wrong about Gabriel than they are of being late on Sanders. And that fear is costing them. Because even if they're right, even if their plan is to protect Shedeur from the spotlight a little longer, it doesn't matter anymore. The spotlight is here. The fans brought it. The media doubled it. And the team's own silence sealed it. They don't get to delay this narrative anymore. Not when the fan base is tracking down third-hand reports just to catch a glimpse of what Shedeur's doing in a closed scrimmage. Not when clips from team practices are getting broken down like Zapruder film. Not when national shows are putting his name on the ticker even though he hasn't taken a single NFL snap. That's how loud this has become. And now, every game without Shedeur in pads is another week the Browns have to answer questions they don't want to answer. Because at this point, even a win won't quiet things down. Let's say Gabriel plays well. He leads a solid drive. The team gets a W. Great, right? Nope. Because the next question will still be, well, if we're doing this well without Shedeur, what would it look like with him? It's a trap. One the Browns built with their own PR strategy. And here's the real kicker, none of this is Shedeur's fault. He's not leaking footage. He's not feeding rumors. He's not posting cryptic quotes on social media. He's keeping his head down and working, doing everything right. And somehow, he's still the center of the storm. But because he's too good to ignore, and the team is trying to make everyone pretend he's invisible. And that disconnect is tearing the Browns' entire quarterback situation apart. They've reached the worst-case scenario. The fans have made up their minds before the coaches have. That's not just dangerous, it's unsustainable. The next time Gabriel throws an interception, the boos won't be for him. They'll be for the front office. For the coaches. For the silence. The next time Sanders gets caught on camera tossing a perfect deep ball in warm-ups, it'll spark another round of speculation. Not because fans are impatient, but because they feel like they're being gaslit. And when that dynamic sets in, when the fan base starts assuming the organization is hiding something, you've lost the room. You've lost the benefit of the doubt. You've lost control. So now the Browns have a choice. They can keep running out the clock, hoping this all just goes away. Or they can face reality. The Sanders era has already started. Whether they're ready or not. There is no safe rollout anymore. No perfect moment. No clean transition. The moment they tried to manufacture has already passed. Now, they're playing catch-up. And unless they get ahead of this narrative fast, they'll lose control of more than just the media cycle. They'll lose the fans, the locker room, the chance to define Shedeur's rise on their own terms. So here's the hard truth for Cleveland. You can't keep your future on the bench just because you're scared of the fallout. The fallout's already here. All that's left is how you respond to it. Do you keep clinging to the illusion of control, or do you finally give the fans, and the team, the quarterback they've clearly been waiting for? That decision's coming fast. And however it shakes out, one thing's for sure. Shedeur Sanders is no longer just an option. He's the headline. And every day you try to keep him out of the spotlight, you only make him shine brighter. Let us know in the comments, has the Browns' silence gone from cautious to cowardly? Should they unleash Shedeur now, or are they right to keep holding him back? Either way, this saga isn't going away. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this one, because we'll be watching every snap, every press conference, and every missed opportunity until the Browns finally stop hiding their star.